We currently have the best deal of the year live now on poodlecfb.com. If you use code FLASH, capital F, you get $65 off the annual plan, or if you use code FLASH 2025, capital F, you get $6 off the monthly plan. You unlock exclusive spreadsheets, in-depth info, and our members-only Discord. Come join thousands of other members in the fastest growing and best CFB Dynasty community out there. Don't miss out. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 26 video, and in today's video, I'm gonna be going over how EA completely changed something about player progression. Guys, we're running a special deal right now. If you use code FLASH, capital F, you'll get $65 off the annual plan. If you use code FLASH 2025, capital F, you get $7 off the monthly plan. This is the best deal so far of CFB 26. It's a grandfathered in deal, so if you lock this in, you get to keep this deal for the remainder of the lifetime of your membership. Check it out, guys. We just launched Player Calculator V1, which allows you to input your archetype, your skill points, and the level of your player, and it shows you exactly how long it'll take them to grow and how many skill points they need. It'll show you the fastest versus slowest growing archetypes. We launched our master spreadsheet, which has thousands of lines of data over multiple tabs. We have a lot of other tools over there that you guys want to check out. Want to be a part of the best discussions in the best community in CFB right now? Make sure to check it out, guys. The game got patched multiple times this week based off of testing and data that we have over there in poodlecfb.com. So come be a part of it. Sign up now. Use code FLASH or code FLASH 2025. So guys, last year we figured out everything when it came to player progression. We knew exactly what to look for, what archetypes to go for, what abilities you needed, and how those abilities worked. Now, upon some testing, we did some testing on a lot of these different abilities throughout this game. We did some testing on coordinator stacks over on poodlecfb.com. We did some testing on just overall how things look when you advance seasons, XP, skill point caps, etc. Right? So that comes to motivator and talent developer, two of the main ones when building players, quite honestly. So we have these. We have tier 1, which is bonus XP for players when they're drafted in their position group. We have Whisperer, Star Maker, then we have the Pipeline bonus, and then of course we have the infamous tier 3 Motivator, which is one of the best abilities in the game, or one of the most common abilities in the game. Now, when looking at these abilities, we did some testing and we realized that they did make a key change to one of these abilities. I'm going to show you guys exactly what it looks like and how it actually makes this ability super OP and way more useful than even last year, and a lot less complicated for people. So one of the abilities that we did test was going to be Talent Developer. So we tested tier 1 Talent Developer, which is pay it forward. Bonus XP for players when they're drafted in their position group. So let me buy the rest of these real quick. So for instance, we have Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback for the LSU Tigers. He's a high overall, I believe he's like a 93 overall. Once you sim through a season, he gets like a 94, 95. He goes usually first round or second round in the NFL draft. When he's drafted, quarterbacks behind him on the depth chart will end up going and getting a good XP boost because of him being drafted in the first round. Now, it does go bonus XP from round 1 to 7. It used to be like in the first 3 rounds. Now it's if they're drafted in general, but the XP bonus is bigger if they get drafted higher. So this bonus will only apply to QBs. Now, same thing for halfbacks. If Caden Durham gets drafted in the first, second, third round, fourth round, we do get a bonus for the rest for halfbacks. Now, what they changed was something really cool. So last year, see where it says bonus XP for wide receivers and tight ends? Last year, if you got a wide receiver who got drafted, only wide receivers would get the boost. Or if you get a tight end that got drafted, only tight ends. And tight ends never really got great boost. Now, if your wide receivers are getting drafted, your tight ends get it too. And where you really start to notice this difference is O-line. So last year, if you had a left guard that got drafted, only the left guard behind him would get the big XP boost. Now, in CFB 26, the entire position group gets it. And we did a lot of testing to see how this worked, but even a right guard, a center, or a left tackle at the top of their depth chart will get the biggest boost from a left guard being drafted. Now, I'm not sure if this results in maybe less XP across the board, but it does, or they changed it entirely as the game was updated for it. But it does definitely make a difference when planning out your roster. I'm gonna go through a few things before we show you guys some sims and go through this, but it changes a few things with how you handle your roster. So last year, we placed a heavy emphasis on making sure that we had our key players at key positions. So for instance, let's say we have a top tier. I don't think we have a top tier lineman, but for instance, last year, let's say you had a freshman left tackle who was like elite dev and you wanted to grow him, and you had a left guard who was about to go first round in the NFL draft. I would either switch that left tackle over to left guard or switch that left guard over to left tackle. I wanted them to be in the same position groups. You could also even further do it where you would move all your freshman players behind someone on the depth chart. So like for instance, right now we have Harold Perkins, who is going to be an absolute steal, first round NFL superstar style player in this game. He gets drafted and he's going to be a 94 overall, whatever it is. What you would have done last year was moved all your Mikes, all your Sams, your Edges, whoever you could that would benefit behind Harold Perkins on this depth chart. Let him get drafted, get as many of them the boost as you could, and then you can move them back later or play them from that spot. This helped you start your factory up because, for instance, let's say last year you had a left guard. You had a left guard who was an elite dev, and you had a right guard who was elite dev, and a center who was elite dev, but your left tackle was being drafted, but behind your left tackle, all you had was a bummy sophomore and another bummy junior. You're wasting your XP on 2 cap players. You want to make sure that your bonuses are going to players who can then, basically, it's exponential growth because the guy who's elite dev gets it, and then he's even closer to being drafted, and they're elite dev, so then you get them drafted, and that's how you start that pipeline factory. Someone had another name for it the other day in the comments. That pipeline factory of just kind of having players coming in yearly and being drafted, giving the boost, and you keep it going. Otherwise, you would lose that progression. Another problem was with tight ends. They didn't grow that well last year. And you didn't get them drafted often, so you never really got that big boost, and you never really got to start that tight end factory. And this applies for everything. If a cornerback gets drafted, it goes to your whole secondary. Will linebacker, Mike linebacker. It's really cool. It's a big difference. So let's sim through actually and show you guys a few of these with our players that are actually going to be drafted on the LSU Tigers. All right, so we've simmed to the players leaving phase. Let's see who we have leaving for the draft. We have Anderson and Anderson. So we have 2 of the Andersons going at our wide receiver group. I'll just let these sim through so we can kind of see a wide receiver tight end progression here. So let's go check out some of our players and see what we have. Obviously, these aren't first rounders, but it does give you a look at some of the XP gains you will get per position group. So at wide receiver right now, we have Barry Brown as 0, Xavier Thomas as 2, 2. So 0, 2, 2. And then at tight end, we have 2, 1, 0. So nothing really above a 3 here. So let's allow them to hopefully leave. And let's go to the draft results and see what we end up with. Sim through. Let's see what we end up getting. Let's get out of here. And we should have the draft results now. Let's see where guys went. So Garrett went in the 3rd. Anderson went in the 4th. So as you guys see, these are some of our groups that we did have for players leaving. Keep in mind, so we have wide receiver, edge, safety, quarterback, and cornerback as well. But let's go through and let's see some of the XP gains here with these players. So let's go over to our quarterback group first. Obviously, players are going to get a boost for him going. Halfback, nothing there. So let's go to wide receiver. Aaron Anderson and Nick Anderson, of course, have 29 because that makes total sense that our drafted players just got XP boost. But Barry Brown now has 27. Xavier Thomas has 35. Chris Hilton Jr. has 46, 47, 48. And our tight end group should also have equally have gotten some hits with our 24. He's a bit on the older side of normal dev, so they get less. These guys are star dev, 42, 44, and 28. Now, I know some of these seem to only show up at the end of the year, which we already know about that. But as you guys can see, it appears that our double drafted wide receivers, we're getting about the same XP for our star dev wide receivers, our same skill points as you guys see, 47, 48, and these guys are both star dev. And then our tight ends, who are also star dev, got a very similar amount. When meanwhile, had we not had a wide receiver get drafted, it's likely that our tight ends would have been a little behind. And then as you guys also saw, we did have a cornerback gain here, which you'll see these guys have some, but also these guys down here on safety also have some more. But let's go back and just look at something real quick. Obviously, we're in the transfer portal, we're in the draft results, we're not even at the training phase yet. When you go look at these abilities too, what's going to help with this and seeing how your whole group gets hit is not just talent developer and your head coach, but also being able to stack it with a coordinator. If I had my coordinator had both of these, it would be even bigger. So the draft bonus is a lot better this year than even last year, because not only does it really help you out with getting some skill points, it makes a huge difference when you can actually stack them and hit a whole position group. And this can really accelerate that whole like factory timeline. So every group that had one drafted, you're going to see where they went with their positions, with their position points here, where versus like halfback, where we didn't get too much here, because that was just 1 week advance, obviously. So let's go to a position group where we didn't have anyone that was really drafted. Look at our O-linemen. Nothing really gained at O-line here. Let's go to our edges. We have some edge points because as you guys saw, we did get one edge that was sent later in the draft. DTs, nothing too much. Let's go to our kickers. Nothing crazy, but all the groups that we had at least one or two players drafted, we had a big bonus. So this is going to be huge, and that's why this year I'm really leaning in that. I feel like talent developing may be a little bit more crucial than even recruiting, because especially with manual recruiting or manual upgrading on, it's getting to a point where you could really do some crazy things if you have enough skill points to do it. But to get those skill points, you're going to want to stack them. Let's advance one more week to the training results phase, see if we get any kind of other boost here to kind of showcase. The training results, I just want to show you guys this too, because as you do know, this game operates in some weird ways. Our quarterbacks, for obvious reasons, went up a good amount. We had Garrett who went, so we're going to get those upgrades. Our halfbacks didn't go up too crazy, +4 overall. Let's look at what we're looking at with all of our wide receivers. So here, this is where you're going to really notice the difference. So look at our quarterbacks. One player drafted ahead of him. We got the +5. Halfback, nothing too crazy. Let's look at a position group that had a drafted player. 14, 8, 2, and 10. Just across the board, you're going to see more noticeable gains. But at tight end, you're going to see something similar too, with Trey Green going up 8 overalls. Remember, he wasn't even playing last year. He was our 3rd string tight end. So he didn't even play last season. He went up 8 overall strictly because we had wide receivers get drafted. Let's look at some of our tackle groups. You're going to see across the board, like, you're going to have like that first player get some, but like none of the backups are really seeing much growth here versus wide receiver, where you saw an 8 and a 10. Now let's go over to our edges. Across the board, what you're going to really notice is just across the board, there's just bigger gains as a whole, and it's pretty obviously noticeable. Look at cornerbacks here. We only had a +2 on this guy, but this guy likely, I think, was a transfer. I could be wrong. Looks like he could have been a transfer. The rest, though, 5, 6, 3 down the board. Free safety similar. 7, 6. That's really where you're going to notice it too, is when you look at some of those backup players like Trey Green and these guys who didn't even play, getting that big boost just for being in the position group. And the positions where there wasn't much, kind of like halfback, you're not going to see it. But guys, that pretty much wraps up today's video. I hope you guys really got a good grasp for how impactful that. First off, I love that ability. I've loved it since last year. What I hated was just having to like line everything up, like, all right, I got to move this guy over to tight end. I got to move this guy over to left guard. I hope I don't mess up his overall too much. You have to move him back. You got to reroll the abilities. Now it's really seamless, and it just makes it so everyone eats. That's really what it should be called. Everybody eats, which I think is what tier 3 master motivator is called. But I love it. I think talent developers huge this year. I'm gonna make a video going over this at some point, but I'm really gonna like dive deep into development versus recruiting. But right now this year, guys, talent developer is just so good. I think they really buffed it in a great way. Everything about it, and that doesn't even include these abilities too. If you take it a step further with talent developer, which is going to be tier 1, 2, and 3, which just does another huge boost on top of what you're already getting for this. But guys, that's about it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn that noti bell. And guys, check out poodlecfb.com. We run all these tests over there. You can see the in-depth data, the exact percentage, the exact accumulation of things. We ran some tests where people were saying motivator tier 3 was kind of broken. They were only seeing like an extra 2-3 skill caps per game, or 2 to 3 skill points per year. But what they don't realize is if you have motivator and so does your coordinators, it's all bonuses. So if it's 2%, and then you times it again by something else, and then your coordinator gets it, times it again, now you're at like a 10 to 15% accrual, which is like an extra season worth of skill points. And that's the thing, everything in this game stacks. That's why I never believe in getting one ability for one guy and then complementing your coach something else. I believe in going all in. You want to amplify everything by multiples. That's about it. Check out poodlecfb.com, guys, if you didn't already see it. Code FLASH capital F gets you $65 off the annual plan, and code FLASH 2025 capital F gets you $7 off the monthly plan. It's the best deal of the year. Best deal we've ever run on poodlecfb.com. Check it out. If you use that code, you are grandfathered in for life of your deal. So you can come see all of our data, all of our tools, and our ebook guide is dropping shortly. So make sure to check it out, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm out. Peace.